Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and this is a special podcast for the Cloud Communications Alliance and TR Publications. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Mattias Ohde, who is the investor and advisor at Meetric. Mattias, thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here, Doug. Thanks for putting me on the show.
Well, we're in the run-up to the CCA European Summit. We're excited to be going to that. I hope to be doing lots of podcasts there as well. And
would be good to meet in person as well.
I'm looking forward to it. And you're going to be actually on a panel, The Power of an Open Best of Breed Ecosystem Approach. And we're going to be talking about that and the conference. But Mattias, first of all, what is Meetric?
So, Meetric is a conversational intelligence platform with a kind of frame. It may be a little bit different compared to what's out in the markets. I mean, there are plenty of note takers in video meetings, but we are adding more a 360 view on it. So we're bringing more sources like telephony, contact center, live meetings, and text and chat and stuff like that to be able to bring data from a lot of conversations, a lot of parts of the organization into kind of one ecosystem where we can take insights from that data and of course work with automated workflows, integrate that into other systems and bring a lot of other capabilities on top of that, like AI coaching and stuff like that. So maybe like a mix between Microsoft Copilot and Gong, maybe, even though Gong is more sales focused, we focus on more verticals than sales, but just to kind of get a picture. And then we bring that as a white label service to service providers, mobile carriers, other kind of service providers who wants to have this kind of offering either integrated into maybe a UCaaS offering or CCaaS offering or something, or just as a standalone mobile AI agent that can kind of work with summaries and stuff for the individual. So we do it small and we do it big.
And Meetric is for service providers. Is that right? That's your target?
Yeah, that's the main offering, and that's how we've kind of built the product. Not only what the end customer is consuming, but also like the back end with everything from portals for onboarding or billing, stuff like that. So it can work for a mobile carrier or a other kind of service providers in the end.
So Mattias, you're going to be part of a panel that's going to be making the case for the power of an open best of breed ecosystem approach.
Yep.
So help me understand what that means. There seems to be two bits: the best of breed, or actually maybe three: open best of breed and ecosystem. So what's this all about?
I mean, you can probably read that in various ways, and then you can also maybe see it in various ways as well. But for me, I think it's, I mean, as the pace of innovation out there is huge. What we see is that, I mean, traditionally you could have platforms like Broadsoft or Destiny or Reach, or I mean there are tons of platforms, or in the past Mitel or Avaya, but and they could kind of create innovation as kind of the technology went along, but now I think since the pace is something else, and with the introduction of AI, I think that the time is not there to create everything by yourself. You need to rather build an infrastructure where you can add different pieces of the puzzle into it. There is not one system to rule them all anymore.
So it needs to be open. That's the first thing.
Yep, correct.
All right, and then it needs to be best of breed. Does that go without saying? Or is that still a very critical thing? The best of breed.
But I mean, I think that since it is open and since it is an ecosystem, you can pick the best of breed, but that also means that you can replace the best of breed if something else comes along. And I think that that's kind of the rationality of it all, which means that, or even compared to how it has been in the past, and with the pace of innovation these days, I think that if you don't have that approach, you will be stuck with something that is not up to date in a few of the verticals that you have, and that means that the end customer experience will be lacking in some parts. But if you can add pieces, and if you can replace pieces, and if of course it needs to work together in an ecosystem, but that means that you will probably have something that is in the front.
So it sounds like also, amongst other things, you're arguing for flexibility, that if you get stuck with something, you could start missing elements and pieces that now make you out of date.
Yeah, but I also think, I mean, since we try to think of it from a service provider perspective, and I mean, to be honest, a lot of service providers like mobile carriers, for example, I mean, when it comes to their own innovation capabilities, it's pretty weak, because it's not what they should do. But if they are smart and if they have this approach, they can use other technologies as part of their offering to be able to have something that is really competitive and kind of stays in the technology front. And also, I think that then they are able to really compete with players like, for example, Microsoft, that actually wants to do it all by themselves. I mean, of course, they integrate a bit as well, but at the end of the day, they want it to be the Microsoft technology on all pieces.
The reason I'm giggling is this, as much as things change, this seems to never change. That the largest companies like Microsoft are always wanting to edge everyone out and be the only solution.
They might want to be that, and I mean, in some parts of the market, and when it comes to kind of volume or basic functionality, I mean, Microsoft, for example, I mean, they are big. They will probably be super big going forward as well. But I think that some of the things that are maybe in the, for example, in the conversational AI space, they are not in front. They are not in lead. But therefore, from a service provider perspective, if you can pick those pieces, you will have something that stands out, and probably something that will bring more value for the customers as well. Even though if I of course I buy the logic that a lot of big corporations, they are buying Microsoft all the way, because it's probably the easiest thing to do.
You know, Mattias, we've all been at conferences, and especially panels, where everybody on the panel basically just makes a commercial for their own, pitch for their own company. Why is this going to be different? What's the value of this session and also this conference?
I think that there are some good examples. I mean, even companies that might look as competitors. If you take Destiny and Enreach, for example, I mean, they are more or less doing this as a joint venture. And I think they have invited also companies and people that they think brings value to the audience, rather than somebody that could just pay a good sponsor fee and get the sponsor features and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think that looking at the people, looking at the companies, and also external people that are not from the industry, I would say it's a really high standard, or some great quality in when it comes to the attendances and speakers and companies that will come there. So I think that conversations will rather be, I think, probably valuable for the audience compared to somebody just trying to promote a product or a brand.
It struck me when I was looking, and as I've been interviewing all the people that are involved in this, that it's also very forward-looking. People seem to be talking about, how to construct your business for now, but also to make it durable for the rest of the decade and into the future.
I agree, and I also think that also in organizations like the CCA has evolved a lot in that sense as well. I mean, historically, it might at certain point it was more about talking about different restrictions or more political stuff, I would say, within the industry. But
right.
Now I would say since a year and a half, 2 years, and definitely now I would say it's so much more forward looking when it comes to innovation, technology, and it feels like the entire business, the entire industry actually is taking various steps forward in a great direction that I've never seen in the past. And I mean, I've been in this for 20 years or something like that, so it's exciting.
Mattias, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This is really interesting. Where can we learn more about Meetric?
Of course, you can go to our website, and even better if we meet in Brussels, of course. I will be there together with a few of my colleagues, of course, and looking forward to meet you as well, Doug.
Well, I'm looking forward to this conference, and everybody, if you haven't already, check out the website. All you really have to do is go to cloudcommunications.com. All the information is right there. Super easy to register and take a look. Registration is very limited, but as Mattias and I have been talking about, the quality of this conference is very top notch. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll podcast you there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Doug.